Welcome to Clarkwize. Today, we're going to dive into something really important. 7 practical, research-backed skills you can use to manage depression. So let's jump right in.
So, what is the difference between just feeling sad and actual depression? It's such a crucial question, right? Because look, we all feel sad sometimes. That's just part of being human. But depression, that's a whole different ballgame. And really getting that difference is the first most important step to getting the right kind of support.
And that brings us to the key distinction, the thing we all need to understand. Depression is not a character flaw. It's not laziness, and it's definitely not something anyone can just snap out of. It's a real, legitimate medical condition. And just accepting that fact, well, that's the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
Okay, so if it's a medical condition, how do doctors or therapists actually identify it? Let's take a look at what a major depressive episode really looks like, according to the official definitions. So, believe it or not, there's a key number to keep in mind, and that number is 5. To be clinically defined as a major depressive episode, a person has to be experiencing 5 or more very specific symptoms for at least 2 weeks straight. It's not just one bad day, it's the combination and the persistence of these symptoms that signals something more is going on.
And when you look at these symptoms, what's so critical to understand is just how wide-ranging they are. We tend to think of depression as just feeling sad, but it's so much more than that. It can totally mess with your sleep, drain your energy, change your appetite. It can make it impossible to concentrate. It can even attack your self-worth. It really is a whole body, whole mind experience. All right, I know, seeing that list can feel pretty heavy, maybe even a little overwhelming, but here's the turn. Here's the hopeful part. There are concrete, evidence-based skills that can make a huge difference. And these are things you can use whether you're also taking medication or not. And to make these skills super easy to remember, there's a simple little acronym, My Peers. Think of it like a toolkit. Each letter stands for a powerful technique you can start putting into practice. So let's break it down one by one. First up, we have M, and M is for meaning. This is all about finding a sense of purpose by connecting to something bigger than yourself. And listen, this doesn't have to be some huge grand gesture. We're talking about small acts of service, little ways to help others. That simple act can shift your focus off your own pain and create a real sense of value. You know, there's this amazing quote from Viktor Frankl that just nails this idea. He said, "Success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue, as the unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a course greater than oneself." Wow. Basically, you don't chase happiness directly. It just shows up when you're busy living a life with meaning. What a powerful way to think about it. All right, next in our acronym is Y for your goals. Now, the keyword here isn't just goals, it's workable goals. The kind that actually give you that little hit of accomplishment, that feeling of, hey, I did that. So what exactly makes a goal workable? Well, it boils down to 4 simple things. First, it's got to be controllable. It can't depend on other people. Second, it has to be manageable, not totally overwhelming. Third, it needs to be realistic for you right now. And finally, it has to be measurable, so you actually know when you've done it. This little formula is a game changer for building momentum. P is for pleasant events. Okay, this one is huge. You know how depression just sucks the motivation right out of you? Well, that's why waiting to feel like it is a total trap. It's never going to happen. The trick is to schedule pleasant things. Literally put them in your calendar, just like a dentist appointment. And we're not talking about planning a trip to Paris here. This can be super simple stuff. Give yourself a 30-minute vacation to just read a book. Schedule time for a hobby you kind of like. Or, and this one is so powerful, just take a moment to practice gratitude. Maybe keep a little journal or just make a mental note of 1 or 2 things that went well today. It sounds small, but it really adds up. Okay, our first E stands for engagement. This is really all about mindfulness, which is just a fancy word for staying in the present. It's the skill of paying attention to what's happening right now without judging yourself for it. So when your brain starts to spiral into worry or regret, you just gently guide it back. Nope, we're right here, just washing the dishes. That's it. Our second E is for exercise and eating right. And this is so important. You absolutely cannot separate your mind from your body. They're one system. So one of the most direct, powerful ways to support your mind is to take care of your body. And the good news is the guidelines here are surprisingly simple. We're talking about 30 minutes of moderate exercise, like a brisk walk, about 5 times a week. That alone can have a massive impact on your mood. And with food, it's not about some crazy diet. It's just about paying attention. Notice how different foods make you feel. And, try to practice a bit of moderation. Simple as that. All right, let's talk about R, relationships. Depression is sneaky. It loves to make you isolate yourself. It tells you you're a burden, that you should just be alone. But human connection is one of the most powerful antidotes we have. The trick is to be intentional about it. Focus your limited energy on the people who actually lift you up and make you feel supported. And that brings us to our last letter, S, for sleep. I mean, come on, we all know this, but it's so fundamental. A regular sleep schedule is a bedrock of mental stability. That cycle of staying up super late and then sleeping in all day, it's like pouring gasoline on the fire of depression. When it comes to sleep, consistency is absolutely your best friend. So there you have it, MYPERS. We've walked through all 7 skills. But if you take away only one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. It is all about practice and consistency. It is not about motivation. Let me say that again. It is not about motivation. Because the truth is, you will almost never feel like doing any of these things. And this quote just drives that point home. It says that doing these things every day, especially when you don't feel like it, is vital. That's the secret sauce. The power isn't in doing this stuff when you're already having a good day. The magic, the thing that actually rewires your brain and builds resilience, happens when you do it anyway, when it's the last thing on earth you want to do. So, as we start to wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question. A challenge, really. Don't look at this whole My Peers list and feel like you have to do it all at once. That's overwhelming. Just look at the list. What is one small thing? Just one skill. What's one thing you can try to practice today?